Weird science
is the revolution.
Daredevil Gang War #2. It's written by Erica Schultz, pencils by Sergio Davila, inks by Sean Parsons, and colors by Cece De La Cruz, letters by DC's Clayton Coles. You get that map, and we keep talking about it. We even talked about it earlier in the show. None of these feel, up until here, the idea that it's a big story that needed to be told, this whole gang war. But this one at least throws in a couple things that I didn't realize we were going to have, because you end up, the heat is the thing going on. Nobody cares about the heat, right? I mean, is there anybody out there thinking, oh my God, I can't wait till the heat wins this gang war? But by the end, we throw in Madame Mask. We get a mention again of the owl. So you do have some things, and we get a reveal of who this weird assassin is, this crazy mystery assassin that me and my man Matt were very confused about in the first issue. And then once I realized, I'm like, oh, I'm a dummy, I do know this character. But we have a then Hell's Kitchen. I like the art in this book. I actually think that the art is pretty cool. It has a different look, like a weird, gritty, cartoony type of deal, but I like it. How about you?
I do, yeah, there's something about it. It reminded me a little bit of is it Car Andrews, his style, just a bit. Yeah, cartoony, very colourful as well, Jim. The colours on this are awesome.
And they really pop when you go. See, you start out and doing a lot of stuff with perspective, especially with the size as they rip people's teeth out and stick and stuff. It's like throughout the whole deal. But you do get in this, at the beginning at least, that even with Matt, Elektra's really over the top. I mean, she is knocking heads, and bashing people in. But
teeth
again,
flying everywhere.
Flying everywhere. And that just, again, sets up the idea that I thought was missing. Hey, me and Matt did fight the heat. And then she mentions he's kind of doing his own thing right now. He's Father Matt, so he can't be in this book. But here we go, and we do get to how we left the last issue. And it is funny, like the big play is this Scarf, who now has the Mega Man arm blaster gun.
What is going on with that arm?
It's so over the top here. And in this, we're going to get pretty much just a big fight. I mean, really, it's going to be a big fight. You're going to have some things going on, but you have this arm blaster gun going. And I'm like, okay, like that's kind of cool. I want to see what happens. And then Scarf, I guess it's too big a thing. And he starts talking trash to this assassin, the assassin who ended up setting up. Remember, ended up grabbing Scarf's arm and shoving it into a crate. That's how this thing attached. And they're fighting
Jim,
Elektra.
Does he remind you of like a kind of evil version of Tony Stark? Maybe the alcoholic one, the one who got lost in the bottle.
Yeah, really. The one lost in the bottle that has a Mega Man arm.
Yeah.
That is what it is. So you have that, and he wants more. Scarf is like, he can't just be happy with his stupid arm cannon. They do. That's what gets you every time. He's like, hey, you assassin, I want to see who was the one who set you up with this. I want to hear your master, who the big cheese is, because I want to get rid of the middleman. We've already seen that this assassin held her own with Elektra, so you know that she can kick ass, and he's like looking for trouble. And so
I like this line she replies as well, Jim. It's a great line. She's like, I'm not so easily replaced. I just like that.
Crazy. Because, it says, I'm going to kill you and just go directly to your boss. And she says that. Now, again, who this is, and since that first issue, I recognized the look, like, and then I realized, and I'll just tell you now, because they end up saying the name Bellona and also the mask and things. This is one of the Wolverine clones. When you end up having her pop claws, they're the two claws because she is those sisters that included X-23 Laura and also Gabby. So that is the play and was part of the all-new Wolverine that Tom Taylor did. That I know it's a divisive book. If you think back at it, some people really hate the She-Verines, and they have all these names for it, but I actually do like Laura. And I'm one of the few.
I thought that was your backing band, Jim. The She-Verines.
Yeah, the She-Verines. I saw something. It's like the Wolver-Shees or something.
I was so surprised when she popped the claws. Just got to say, I had no idea who the character is, so I appreciate you letting me know. But that was a great scene. I was like, no way, she's got claws.
And it was funny because I'm sitting there. I'm like, I recognize this character. Then they say the name, and then you pop the claws. And I'm like, okay, that's what it is. And I went to look. Again, I'll tell you right now, and maybe people will be pissed off. I don't know why people get so angry because people like things, but I'm actually one of the few that either like or are not afraid to admit that I like Gabby. I won't call her Scout. I like Honey Badger as the deal, but I really do like Gabby, and there you go. But having the sister, and if you did read the Tom Taylor All New Wolverine, Bellona is the over-the-top, vicious, violent one. So this makes sense. So it makes sense. And in this, I don't know. I hope that people kind of get a little kick out of it. I'm sure people won't care either way, but it's kind of neat. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect to get that sort of thing. So I'm like, all right, you're doing something here. And she's tough. This is why she could stand toe-to-toe with Elektra, then pops the claws. Because in this, you have Scarf just runs his mouth too much. And he's yelling about this. He does not have gun arm anymore. It gets sliced off.
I don't know why I'm laughing, Jim. I'm laughing at that. He's like, help me, you mooks. I love that use of mooks.
It is a pretty cool reveal. Like, I think that Erica Schultz does a cool play here. Like, you end up having Bellona there, and she's not really scared, but he is going to shoot her with that gun. So there's the reason to pop the claws. And it seems, in my mind, remember, she didn't pop the claws when she fought Elektra. Certainly that was a battle that you would have maybe expected it, but she might still be kind of laying low on the run, not wanting to be seen like that. Again, we're in a kind of an era, or a time frame with this whole, mutants aren't wanted. So I liked the play there. And she pops the claws and just cuts the guy's arm off. Yeah, he's yelling for the mooks. And now we're going to have full out Elektra versus Bellona fight here. And I thought that the art, that panel with her with the claws pop looked really, really good. I remember talking about the art last issue and saying it's pretty good. And the big play for me in that was Elektra's hair was just crazed. It was all over. And you always do get that. But I thought this was pretty good
What do you
art.
think of her mask design? I'm not sure about that.
And that's been her thing. So it makes sense. But it really, when we first saw it, like, here's the thing. You look at her, and this is where we kind of went sideways last time. She's got an X mask and a bunch of pouch. Well, that goes with that, but it really feels like a Rob Liefeld character. It really looks like a modern version of a Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was, yeah.
That was from the All New Wolverine. Well, in this whole play, I just wonder, because Scarf, this guy should be bleeding out profusely, and he's not. Like, you cut a little below the skin, and it was weird because his guys then, they're like, oh, come on, and they're grabbing all the things while this big fight goes on, and I mean, they're grabbing missile launchers and things like that maybe Elektra should try to stop, but it kind of gets stopped in the way that the building falls down conveniently on everyone, and even at the one point, one-armed bandit Scarf, he's like going after Elektra, kind of is down, gets hit, she's in concussion protocol, and he's going to hit her with what is a piece of rock. I'm like, this come down to this, and she ends up kicking him right in the face, and then he's there. And then she calls Luke Cage, who, thank God he's not in the Cage Buster.
What has happened to Luke Cage, Jim? What have I missed?
Well, right here, he is playing the role of Shaquille O'Neal in the movie Steel still.
Okay, that's it.
That's what it looks like. And he's like, familiar. Hey, this week, me and Matt already talked about it, he's in a mecha. So that book has gone completely off the rails in a weird, kind of funny way, but...
Has he got a mecha suit? Wow.
Yeah, he's got, oh my God, and he calls it the Cage Buster, which doesn't quite work, but he's there fighting his robots, and that's, part of the whole Alistair Smythe stuff that he's dealing with in his book, and she calls and like, hey, I might need some help, he's busy, but she wants to go see Owlsley, but also, in this, she's kind of needing to chase down, this clone, or vice versa, because when she goes to kind of figure out what's going on, you have the clone deal, and I'm saying clone, it is Bellona, goes off to talk, and you see her boss. It's Madame Mask. So there are a bunch of characters in this that it actually makes it feel bigger than a lot of the other books. Like, at least you're dealing with multiple entities. Luke Cage gets called. He's dealing with stuff. Madame Mask, who we haven't seen much, she's there. She has gotten, Bellona to do this, and they kind of just stand on the rooftop talking a bit about, what's going on, how this all goes, and hey, Madame Mask just wants the whole city to burn down.
Yeah.
I keep saying, and it's funny, like, what she says goes back to what I keep calling this event. I keep reverting to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle City on Fire, because that's what is really the only thing that's happened. Nobody seems to be having that gang type where they're just burning stuff down, but that's what she wants. She says, I just want to burn the city down. Hey, let's shake on it. And I'm like, I don't know why I wouldn't shake any sort of Wolverine. Like,
No
you might
way.
get the claws popped. And, maybe they get excited, right? They're talking, they're looking over at the city's on fire. But she's fought Elektra twice now. And then the big thing going is Madame Mess says, you know what I want you to do now? I want you to kill that she-devil. Like, all right. Like, kind of is doing it already. So they're going to go off and do that. And then Bologna. And here's the thing, too. I wish that they didn't say the name, because that really threw she's about to take her mask off.
I know,
and,
right at the end there. Look at her. I thought, is she taking the mask off here? And it's the last page.
Isn't it weird, the idea, like, it feels like, oh my God, the mystery will finally be solved. But you solved the mystery earlier.
I didn't pay attention like you, Jim. I completely missed it.
Okay, you kind of revealed it already with the name and the claws, but is this where you're just going to, like, people would be, oh my God, that looks like Laura, X-23. Like, is that a big enough reveal, or does she take the mask off and, like, she's horrifically, like, something wrong? I don't know.
Oh, no.
I do like, now, speaking of this, it's kind of the funny play that maybe all of this came down to, well, I'm going to have Madame Mask, so I need somebody else with a mask. Oh, Bologna, one of the clones, she has a mask, let's throw her in. But I kind of like it. I kind of like the deal. Again, I don't know. Some people might not like it because it's one of the Wolverine clones that, people did not like that book a lot. I thought it was good, but Tom Taylor not really loved on the Marvel side of things, and kind of getting away from being loved at the DC side of things as well. But in the Marvel, really, that when he signed exclusive with DC, I'm like, you picked the right deal, because a lot of people at Marvel do not like him. So I like them. So, and I like that book. But what would you give it?
As I say, I enjoyed this the most out of the three, and going through it again with you now, it's bumped up a point for me. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10, Jim.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm going to give it an 8 as well. And
no way.
Yeah, these tie-ins, it's weird. You kind of have to get away from the idea of, like, okay, this didn't really tie into anything. I said it earlier. Some of these tie-ins are barely anything that is gang war. You're just this actually felt like it was a little more involved.
It did, didn't it? I thought so.
There's not much going on. So having Madame Mask say, I don't watch the whole thing burn down, I'm like, I'm with you. That's what I want for this whole deal.
Wasn't it just on a few characters? Yeah. You weren't like going crazy like Spider-Man at the moment. It was too many characters. So yeah, this was really good.
Hey, all you weirdos, if you like comic book shows, podcasts, videos, please check the description of this video, where you can see links to all of our podcast shows, websites, all of that. And if you want to help us out for everything that we do, you can click on that Patreon link in the upper left-hand corner and check out our Patreon, where you can go right now and get a 7-day free trial to see all the stuff that we do, shows that are Marvel, DC, indie, manga, and even more. So check all that out, and I'll talk to you all later.
Weird science
is the revolution.